So next, we're staying in the US. We're going to Seattle, and we're going to hear from Sriman Janardana Prabhu, who met Gurudeva in New Braj in 2007 and took Diksha a year later. And I'm very excited to hear from him and to hear his glorification. If I can find. Here we
He's
go.
there.
Can you hear me? You can hear me okay?
Yes.
Janardana Prabhu, can you come a bit closer? Because you sound a bit distant. Sorry.
I can use the microphone. Can you hear me okay?
That's perfect.
It works?
Okay.
I just, I've never spoken like this before, so I'm a little nervous, a little shaky. First, I wanted to say thank you to the 55-hour Zoomathon team, Yashodanandan Prabhu, Tarun Krishna Prabhu, Yashodhari Didi, and Vishnupriya Didi. I'm really thankful for this. This has really helped me to connect to Gurudev again. It's almost like I'm getting darshan of Gurudev again by hearing from all those that are near to him. Also, I'm reminded of one verse that's in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Let me just read it. It's by Krishnadas Kaviraj. He says, "Let me repeatedly offer my respectful obeisances unto the bee-like devotees who always taste the honey of the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If even a doggish non-devotee somehow takes shelter of such devotees, he enjoys the aroma of the lotus flower." So I'm reminded of this verse as I've been listening, because I'm very much a doggish non-devotee, and all these bee-like devotees and followers of Srila Gurudev have really helped me really become humble again and reconnect to Gurudev. So, Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Agyanatimiandasa Jananjana Salakaya Chaksu Manitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namane Vancha Kopatubhascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranams millions and millions of times into the dust of the lotus feet of my beloved Diksha Gurudev, Nichalita Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Sutatara Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. And the same millions of Dandavat Pranams unto the dust of the lotus feet of Nichalita Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Sutatara Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, who delivered the Western world. Next, I offer my millions and millions of Dandavat Pranams again and again unto the dust of the lotus feet of all my entire Rupanuga Guru Varga, and to all the Vaishnavas that have ever been in the past, to the Vaishnavas that are present here now and that ever will be, and all the wonderful Vaishnavas assembled here on this wonderful 55-hour Zoomathon, and all the sannyasis and senior devotees. Please have mercy on me and allow me to speak something. I wrote everything down because I'm so nervous. So as I've been listening to all the glorifications and remembrances of Gurudev, I was reminded of, in the Ramayana, there was one squirrel that was trying to help build the bridge to Lanka. And I just feel that sorry. I'm just really nervous. So I feel
You're doing
that
really well. You're doing
thanks.
really well.
Thanks. I just feel like so many of these devotees that are making offerings, they're like Hanuman and other devotees. I even have written down here, don't cry, but it's not working. I broke my own promise. So, so many devotees are making so many nice offerings like Hanuman. And they have so much devotion for Gurudev. And I don't have anything. But I feel like if I can just do my best, just something small, that will make Gurudev happy. All right, so let's try to go to the next page. Can't do that one. Okay, so I'll just do with some remembrance, because I think if I think of myself, I'll be more prideful and more stable somehow. So I joined ISKCON in 2007. I think I met the devotees here in Seattle. They had one. They had this one My Sweet Lord Cafe, and they do some preaching there. And I think I was just kind of living like a hippie, hanging out with different people and not hanging out with my family so much. And there was one cafe, My Sweet Lord, and they have a little Gopal deity, and they had a beautiful picture of Prabhupada, and they'd serve prasadam every day, or I think every night, maybe every other night. I'm not sure exactly. I can't remember. So I remember going there a bunch of times, and I didn't know anything about Krishna consciousness. And I met one devotee, what was her name? Radhika, I think. She's a Prabhupada disciple that used to wear saffron. I think she went to Gurudeva a few times. But she tricked me by engaging me in service. Because I went there to get a Bhagavad Gita, and then she gave me a Bhagavad Gita. I gave a donation, and then as I was leaving, she handed me the trash, and she said, "Take this," and then slammed the door. So she tricked me, engaging me in service of the deity there. So, okay. So I'm remembering. I found this book, the Nectar of Instruction, and I was just looking through the pictures. I really like pictures. I feel like they go a little more deeper into my consciousness because I'm not so learned person. I didn't learn to read until I was much older. But I was looking at this picture, and there was a picture of that picture of Rupa Goswami where he's writing, and Radharani is, I think, bringing him some kheer or dal or something, because he wasn't eating; he's just doing seva. And I saw this picture, and I said, "Whoa, he looks so happy. He's so renounced and simple." And I want to be like him. When I had no conception, I had no what I was doing, but I think that there was some desire there that kind of took me along this path into Gurudev. So it's just, like they say that if we just see one word, then it makes an impression. But those pictures, they've made a big impression in my life. And it's kind of one funny thing. All my favorite pictures, I found out later that Shamarani Didi painted all those ones. So I feel like I had this deep connection with Shamarani Didi, and I just didn't even realize. So I was in ISKCON in the Bhakta program they have there at LA ISKCON. It's really nice, actually. But I think actually Prabhupada and Gurudev sent me there to collect all the dust from all his followers that lived there, like Kishore Mahan, Sudevi. I can't remember anyone else. I watched Kishore Mahan and Sudevi's class in the morning, so they're fresh in my mind. But I think I got their mercy too to come to Gurudev. So then I went to the Berkeley ISKCON temple, and that was really nice. And I met one devotee named Radharaman Prabhu. I think he's a brahmachari in Vrindavan now. But he took me up to Badger. But so when I got to Badger, I didn't really know, anything. And I was kind of like unstable because, you know, without receiving Harinam and Diksha, it's really hard to stay stable in Bhakti. It's like almost impossible because you need that connection, that divine connection. So when I got up to Badger, I was just kind of taking in the festival. Beautiful festival. I don't know if everyone's gone there. It's really so inspiring. But I shouldn't say Badger. I'll get in trouble. It's New Brudge. New Brudge. I think it was actually Bhagavat Maharaj who took me into Gurudev to get Harinam. I think I'm remembering that correctly. But so I went in to get Harinam. I didn't really know anything. I was chanting and, you know, following the Four Great Principles the best I could. And I remember the first thing I met. The most important thing. Sorry. So I get up to New Brudge, and who was it? Was it Isha Prabhu? I think it was Isha Prabhu. He was asking if someone could guard the bathroom door while Gurudev took bath. And I was just like, I'll do it. And I'm a big guy. I'm like 6'4", and I was just in his face. And he's like, yeah, okay, come on in. And so I was just sitting there chanting. It was funny. I had white cloth and a saffron japa bag, which is the opposite of what we're supposed to have. And so I'm sitting there on the ground, and mind you, I have no idea what Gurudev looks like. I've never seen him. So I kind of volunteered for this service, but I didn't even know what he looked like. So I'm sitting there chanting japa, and this Indian man comes out in a gamsha, and I look over and I look back, and I went, oh my God, that's Gurudev. And I looked back and I just bowed. And I looked up, and Gurudev just raised one eyebrow and just like looked at me, and then just churned and went into the bathroom and shut the door. And I just jumped up and just stood in front of the bathroom door like this. And I was like, I don't know what's happening. So the first time I met Guru, I didn't know who he was. I was just in the hallway, in that, you know, that hallway in New Brudge. I was just there, just like this. And then the door opened behind me, and I just got out of the way, and Gurudev just churned and went into the room. And he didn't look at me, he just turned and went and looked in the room. And I didn't know what to do. And then Madhav Maharaj comes out in a gamsha. And then he just goes into the bathroom. It's like, okay, I'll guard the door again. And so I was just sitting there guarding the door, and then Madhav Maharaj comes out and leaves, and then the door's open and it's over. And I was like, oh, I think the bath water is really important. And so I ran and grabbed a cup, and I ran into the bathroom and filled up a cup. And then I went outside and just started, and people started running up to me pointing, what is that? What is that? And I was like, and people just started doing this, and I started pouring it in people's hands. And then I saved some for myself, and I said, no, I can't give this to myself. I had to give it to Radha Raman Prabhu because he brought me up here. So I went and found him, and he just opened his mouth, and I just poured it in. And then I was just like, whoa, is that my first meeting with Gurudev? Like, still today, it confuses me so much. But yeah, so then the next day? It might've been the next day, Bhagavat Maharaj took me to get Harinam. And we were all in there, I forget. I know there was one lady in a neck brace, and she was in a chair, and I think there was a car accident like the day before or something. And so I have vivid memory of her just in this neck brace getting Harinam. But I'm standing there, I don't really know what to do. And Gurudev just looks at me and says, come closer. And I have that written down, that like, because I was thinking about that yesterday, and it's so deep that just saying, come closer. And I feel like my whole life, ever since that moment, I'm just slowly trying to get closer to Gurudev. But, okay, so let's see what else, some more memories. Oh yeah, so this one's kind of funny. I don't know if you all know Pran Govinda Prabhu. He's a brahmachari. He's very eccentric, I think. So I lived with him in Houston with Bhagavat Maharaj, Abhiram Prabhu, and Madhukar. We lived there in a little apartment in Houston. And so I think it was 2008 or 2009, we're on a morning walk, and Jiva Pavan Prabhu says, yes, come closer. I'm trying. Give me a mercy. So we're on a morning walk, 2008 or 2009. It might have been at Vishnu Prabhu's house or Bimala Didi's house. But we went for this walk, and Gurudev's sitting on this bench, and everyone's there. And the bench is like here, and then everyone's like this, and I'm kind of like here, just like sitting. I don't even remember what I was thinking about, but Gurudev's giving Harikatha. and I'm just sitting there, and then and he just sighs and goes, goes like this, and just looks straight at me. And then he goes back to speaking Harikatha. And I was just like, what happened? And Pran Govinda was like, you got the merciful glance, Prabhu. And I was like, oh, okay. But it's funny because there must have been a reason he sighed and looked at me. I must have been thinking about something that was bogus. And so he had to just kind of, I don't really remember. So let's see. What's another one? Oh, okay. So it was again in Houston, maybe 2009. I remember I'd taken Diksha already. And I think I was going to take saffron. And I remember Rajanath Prabhu's wife came up to me and was like, I've been wondering when you're going to take saffron. And I was like, I've only talked to her once, and I was very confused. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And so I take the saffron with some devotees, and we went up to where Gurudeva was, and he was just sitting in his bed. And he looked at me, and he told Vishnu Maharaj, I forget his name before he was a Maharaj. I think it's anyway, I can't remember. And so he told him to take the saffron and give it to the Guru Parampara down in the altar room. And so he did that and came back. And then Gurudev gave it to me, and he said, "Be very careful with ladies." I remember that, and that's very difficult. Yeah, Jiva Priya Prabhu, or Jiva Priya Prabhu. But it, not so important that. What was the thing that struck me in that whole interaction was someone brought Gurudev's lunch prasadam in, and they put it on this tray in front of him, and Gurudev he said some prayer, and he folded his hands, and he just started taking prasadam, and it was just like everything in the whole world just disappeared, and he was just completely focused on taking prasadam, and it was like I've never seen absorption like and he was just gone. Well, not gone, but you know what I mean. And then I think Maharaja or someone just took me out of the room, but it was just like I was not qualified. Still, I'm not qualified to even understand what was happening, having association with Gurudev. And only now that I'm hearing more and I'm remembering things it's like I'm so fortunate. I don't even know how, because I don't do anything that good. I don't have shastric knowledge. 3 minutes. Okay. I just wanted to read a question I asked Gurudev in this book. Also, these books are so wonderful. A little commercial break, if everyone try to get these. Okay, so this is actually, okay, this is important. So Bhagavat Maharaj introduced me to Gurudev, and Gurudev said, can he preach? And Bhagavat Maharaj said, yes, he's doing well. And Gurudev said, how many rounds does he chant? And Bhagavat Maharaj says, 16 rounds every day. And then Gurudev says, not more than that? And then I remember this, Gurudev said, don't make a vow to only chant 16 rounds. And then everyone in the morning walk was laughing so much. And I was a little bit like, oh, why is he saying that? But later people were telling me the ISKCON, and people were like, oh, I'm only going to chant 16 rounds, no more, no less. And so he told me here to gradually increase and to become fixed by Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So let's see, I have some other, I'm actually in this book a lot. It's nice. I can some people are, oh, what did Gurudev tell me? I have a whole book. I just go back and don't have to remember anything. So thank you, Shamarani Didi and her team for doing this. I remembered I asked Gurudev, how do I always remain humble? And Gurudev says, we remain humble by remembering the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Trinadapi Sunechana Tarapi Sahisana Amanaya Banena Kirtaniya Sadahari. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree and devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can easily chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. I think there's another one in here. Oh yes, this is nice. I still think about this, and I think some other devotees may also not know the order of books to read. So I said, Gurudev, in Alachua you told me to read your books. What book should I start with? And Gurudev said, first read Jaiva Dharma, then Bhagavad Gita with the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Then you can gradually read the Srimad Bhagavatam and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. There are also other foundational books by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Tattva Vivek, Sri Shikshastakam, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Madhurya Kandambini. So I just wanted to share those memories with Gurudev. How much time do I have? 1 minute, 2 minutes? He's 1 minute. Okay. So I'll read this. I have this highlighted. I don't know if anyone has this book still. I think it's out of print, but this book is really amazing. There's a lot of, it's nice because they have the slokas and then what Gurudev has said about each sloka. It's really nice. So this is after the Jai Dwani. It says here, O Gurudev, may you now be victorious over my mind and my heart and everything in relation to my existence. Please make me your dependent servant. Consider me a speck of dust at your lotus feet and let your feet become my only treasure and exclusive aspiration. So I would really like to have that. So if the Vaishnavas could bless me. Also, please bless me with a Guru Nishta, Pure Bhakti, Radha Dashyam, and make me qualified to preach and serve the Vaishnavas. Time over?
Yeah.
Okay. Mancha Kalpatubhascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you so much for letting me have this opportunity to glorify my Gurudev. A couple Prabhus back said that this is the duty of a disciple. So finally, I did one thing that a disciple is supposed to do. I feel very happy. Hopefully, I can keep engaging in service. Maybe we can do this all year for 1 year, just Zoom call, continuous 1 year, and then we can all be very happy. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
Thank
can
you
be
so
one
much.
of the hosts.
No problem. I got no job, no problem.
Okay, send us your number. We're gonna sort something out.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Oh, I feel so reluctant to have to make the devotees finish speaking. One thing that you said was that you promised not to cry, but actually, I remember one Vaishnava saying that Srila Gurudev said that we must laugh and cry every day, and I laughed and cried, I think quite a few times just in your offering. I think I could speak on behalf of quite a few of us when I say that. So thank you so much for your really sincere, heartfelt offering. And yeah, this book as well, Walking with a Saint, is amazing. Well, it's a series of books. Srimati Shamarani Didi said it's good for people with ADHD, and I'm officially
really
diagnosed. So, so yeah, it just reminds me I need to read this book every day. That's what I should do. Anyway, thank you so much, and please talk to Yashodhari. Come on the Sunday glorifications and come speak a longer glorification. Would really be an honor to hear you speak.
I have one prayer I wrote, but no time. So,
well, if you're on later and we have a spare minute, I'm gonna get you on. Okay. But anyway,
you're all the qualities of Vaishnavas is to be very nice and praise others. So this is what you're all doing to me.
Anyway, thank you so much, Prabhu. Really grateful.